This cake mold bakes your cakes evenly, no soggy middle. I'm making a Bundt Pan. It's been made in clay since Roman times. So let's see how mine turns out. I'm using 1.75 kilos of my favorite mid-fire clay. I start by centering my clay. I've always known this kind of cake pan by its German name, Gugelhupf. This is not a difficult form to make, but there are a few considerations. So I'm flattening the clay, and now I'm going to push down into the clay. I push down all the way through to the base. I'm only going to open out to about 70 millimeters. I've made a donut. So now I'm pushing down into that donut of clay. Now I'm leaving a little more clay on the outside than on the inside. I'm bringing the inner wall up first. It's much easier this way. Oops, I need to bring that inner wall inwards towards the top. That's better. It'll be harder to do this once the outside wall is formed. Now I'm ready to pull up the outside wall. Now, I'm going to leave the inside wall slightly higher than the outside wall. I think it'll make it a little easier to fill and prevent cake batter from spilling over. I'm also thinking of firing on this rim. That means I can glaze the whole piece, just cleaning off that rim of the inner wall. And then I smooth and shape. So I've opened out that outer wall into a straight-sided bowl shape. So one of the considerations here is the inner shape of the form. Of course, it's that inner shape that creates the shape of the cake. And then I trim a little around the base. And then I wire through. And then I set aside to dry to leather hard. So I've dried my Bundt Pan to leather hard, and it's time to trim. I'm going to use my Giff and grip. Now, a Giff and grip is very versatile, but if you don't have one, you can easily make a chuck. However you fasten your pan, this is a simple trimming job. I'm really just rounding that base. Traditionally, there are two types of cake you can make in this form. A Gugelhupf, made with yeast, and, more commonly, a Bundt or Buntkuchen, made without. Whatever the kind of cake, I'm pretty keen to try this out. So to finish, I'm smoothing the surface with a flexible rib. Now I know there's going to be some questions about baking in pottery you've made. There are a few precautions you want to take. You want to make sure that your clay and glaze are a good fit. And I'm careful about sudden temperature changes. And avoid uneven heating. I dry fully, and then I bisque fire. Once fired, it's time to glaze. I'm going to glaze in a white glossy glaze. It's one of my most functional glazes. It's the least prone to crazing or any glaze problems with this particular clay. It's a good fit. I want this piece to be super functional. It's going to withstand heating and washing. Anyway, here it is. This combination of clay and glaze give it a rustic feel. I really couldn't wait to use it. Once my cake's cooled, I upend, and the cake comes out relatively easily. I must say I did both grease and flour the inside of the pan before I poured in the batter. And I think this makes all the difference when working with a ceramic baking pan. I've made a simple ginger and lime cake. Wow, this is one of those super satisfying projects. I don't know why I didn't think of it before. Anyway, make sure you're subscribed to our channel so you don't miss any of our super useful projects. If I've missed anything or you want to add something, feel free to leave a comment below. And if you've liked this video, give us a like. If you haven't seen it yet, why not check out this video in which I make a grater. I used it to grate the ginger in this cake. And as always, happy potting!